primary school, junior secondary school, and senior schools to facilitate the learning of mathematics in our schools. It will help you to recall concepts in mathematics that you have already learned, so as to enhance your understanding of mathematics lessons taught in schools. It will help you to study mathematics more regularly and to start preparing for both internal and external examination very early in school. On the course of this program, you have need for the following instructional materials: an extra mathematics textbook, a notebook, an exercise book, a mathematical set, a calculator, a four-figure table, and a math set. My name is Asokwo Nyom, your extra mathematics teacher. In this series of the program, we have been treating topics on the theme algebraic processes. Today's topic under the same theme is words problem using simple arithmetic operations. Words problems using simple arithmetic operations. Sometimes, instead of writing an arithmetic operation involved in certain mathematical problems using mathematical symbols, we prefer to express them in words. Often, mathematics problems in which the arithmetic operations are expressed in words have to be interpreted into appropriate mathematical symbols before the problems are solved. This kind of problems are referred to as word problems. Also, certain problems occur in nature only in word form and should be interpreted into mathematical symbols for them to be solved using mathematical principles. And now let us consider some of these problems and see a way of solving them. There are certain terms that are used in expressing mathematical operations in words, and some of these terms include: number one, sum. This is the result of addition operation. When you add two or more numbers together, the answer is called the sum. Number two, difference. This is the result of subtraction operation, often used when a smaller number is subtracted from a bigger number. Sometimes this type of difference is called positive difference. Number three, negative difference. This is the result of subtraction operation, often used when a bigger number is subtracted from a smaller number, and the answer will usually have negative sign for the answer. Number four, product. This is the result of multiplication operation, and it is the answer that we get whenever we multiply two or more numbers together. Number five, quotient. This is the result of division operation. Other terms that are used in words problem are twice, which is to multiply by 2, thrice, which is to multiply by 3, half, which is to multiply by 1/2 or to divide by 2, double. This is also to multiply by 2, 1/3. This is to multiply by 1/3 or to divide by 3, 1/4. This is to multiply by 1/4 or to divide by 4. So these are some of the terms that are commonly used to express arithmetic operations in words, and these form the basis for words problems. Now let's consider some examples. Write this down as example 1. Find the product of the positive difference between 2 and 7 and the sum of 2 and 7. Let me take it again. Find the product of the positive difference between 2 and 7 and the sum of 2 and 7. Working. Write this down as the summary of the solution. Positive difference between 2 and 7 equals to 7 minus 2, which equals to 5. That is line 1. Line 2. The sum of 2 and 7 equals to 2 plus 7 equals to 9. Line 3. Product of the difference and the sum. Remember, the difference is 5 and the sum is 9. So the product of the difference between 7 and 2 and the sum of 2 and 7 equals to 5 times 9, which is equal to 45. Thus, the answer is 45. Explanation. In line 1, we subtract 2 from 7 to have a difference which is 5, because 7 minus 2 is 5. So that the positive difference between 2 and 7 is 5. In line 2, we add 2 and 7 together to get the sum, which is 9, because 2 plus 7 is 9. And in line 3, we find the product of the difference and the sum. Here the difference is 5 and the sum is 9. Thus the product of the difference between 7 and 2 and the sum of 7 and 2, when multiplied together, will be 5 times 9. That gives the final answer as 45. And that is how to solve that example number 1. Let us now consider another example, and let that be our example number 2 under this topic. So write this down as example 2. Find the difference between the sum of 16 and 17 and the product of 8 and 4. Let's take it again. Find the difference between the sum of 16 and 17 and the product of 8 and 4. Working. Write this down as the summary of the solution. Line 1. The sum of 16 and 17 equals to 16 plus 17 equals to 33. The product of 8 and 4 equals to 8 times 4 equals to 32. Line 3. The difference between the sum and the product equals to 33 minus 32, which answer is 1. Thus 1 is the final answer when we find the difference between the sum of 16 and 17 and the product of 8 and 4. Explanation. In line 1, we find the sum by adding the two numbers 16 and 17 together, and that gives us 33, and that is the sum. In line 2, we find the product of 8 and 4 by multiplying 8 by 4. Thus we have 8 times 4 equals to 32. And in line 3, we find the difference between the sum the sum is 33, and the product, which is 32, by subtracting 32 from 33, and that gives us answer as 1. So the final answer is 1. Now we have finished 2 examples on today's program. I want us to take this as our homework. Write the following related questions down and attempt them as your homework for this week. Number 1. Find 1/3 of the difference between 29 and the sum of 11 and 6. Let's take it again. Find 1/3 of the difference between 29 and the sum of 11 and 6. Number 2. Divide 36 by the difference between the product of 3 and 6 and the square root of 36. Let's take it again. Divide 36 by the difference between the product of 3 and 6 and the square root of 36. That brings us to the end of the program, Extra Mathematics for today.